Driver than me.
Alright guys, it's Friday. It's just a little after 2. Now today is the first Valentine's Day to fall on a Friday since 2020. So when I realised this back in January, I thought to myself, it should be pretty busy being the first Friday. There's absolutely no excuse for a lot of people. And apparently Uber think the same as well, because they sent this out to everyone, expecting high demand. Now, the problem with the cabs, taxis, Uber, whatever you want to call yourself, is it's very unpredictable. So let's find out what happens. First hour up, so it's 3:10, and I'm only on 17 quid. Now, yeah, that hour money-wise was not great. But let me tell you a story about what happened. So I pulls up to this older lady and an old gentleman. The old lady was in a wheelchair, and at first glance at her, you could tell she was upset and not too happy. So I pulls over and I said, "Do you need a hand?" You know. And the guy went, "Are you okay to take us?" I went, "Yeah, sure." I went, you could see that the wheelchair was one of them lightweight ones where the wheels come off. I went, "Yeah, no problem." And the lady just burst into tears. I went, "What's wrong? Is everything okay?" So they'd ordered an Uber, and the first 2 drivers cancelled, with the second driver arguing with the older gentleman about the chair going in the back of the car. "It won't fit." "It will, mate, it can be dismantled." "I'm telling you it won't fit," and cancelled and drove off. So yeah, it took me quite some time to do that particular job, and yeah, I probably lost about 5 quid on what I like to get within the hour. Do you know what? Sometimes it's really not about the money. It's about, you know, we're all just people trying to get along. I don't understand how some drivers do that with I would say with customers, but I should say I don't understand how some drivers can do that with people. 4:15, so an hour and 5 minutes since my last update. Now, I've just gone against my own rule book and what I advise people not to do, and chase a surge. Now, the reason I say don't do it is because it reminds me of them movies where they're chasing storms, you know, the tornadoes and whatnot, and by the time they get there, it's just a little in the clouds. Well, that's kind of what happens with Uber. If you see a surge and you chase it, you generally don't get to it. But in this particular case, this surge was so deep red, I'd never seen that type of red before, and it was quite a big cloud, and I wasn't too far away from it, so I thought, I'm going to go for it, because I didn't have a good hour, did I? And so I started heading towards it, and just as I was on the tip of this surge, I got offered this job, and they're claiming that's a surge, and I was like, oh no, what have you done? I just wasted 10 minutes getting into this surge cloud for offers like that. But then I got this job. I nearly broke my dashboard to get to that one, and then I got this one. So it worked out well in the end. Let's see what the next hour does. The surge is gone now, I think. 5:10, and in the last hour, it's not been too bad, but there's been mayhem with traffic everywhere and loads of roadworks. What I hate about roadworks is you see the roadworks and there isn't a single workie anywhere. Anyway, this is what I'm on. So there was no surge. There was a couple of clouds knocking about, but they were them ones that you know are going to dissipate when you get there, just like a thin pink. So I'm not falling for them. Let's see what the next hour does. 7:20. Time flies. Now, the reason I haven't been able to do an update is every time it was on the hour or whatnot, there was a customer in the car. So I can't exactly say to the customer, hang on a minute, just need to do an update. I've broke another one of my golden rules. And I got offered a job to go into the city centre for £21. And it was 7.5 miles, the whole job. And a mile run to the job as well, so 8 if you're including that. And I thought, do you know what, I'll do that, because a bulk of it was the motorway. And when I got into town, it's that instant regret again, because of all the traffic everywhere. Then I managed to get catapulted straight out with another job. I was like, that never happens. So yeah, wasn't too bad. A lot of traffic. Heyo. 10 to 8, and the last job I've just done was quite close to my house, so you know the way I like the break at 8 o'clock, don't I, for a coffee? I thought, well, I may as well have it a little bit sooner. It's only 10 minutes. What's 10 minutes, eh? Anyway, so this is what I'm on. So I didn't have a bad half an hour then anyway, from the last update. But I've just took a screenshot for you of a particular job. As I was heading towards it, the rate changed. It was an okay job at first. It was like 5 miles for £10.20 or something, and it was a straight job. So it was like, yeah, go on, I'll do that. So I accept it, heading towards it. Then all of a sudden it says price changed, £12.50. I was like, well, maybe he's added a stop. So I checked. Look what he'd added. How many? Cancel. Right, the next clip you see will be an hour after me break. So it's 10 past 10. What you're seeing on the screen is 10 past 9. That was when I come out, and then an hour later. So it wasn't too bad in the last hour, but I did only get offered 3 trips, and I did 2 of them because they were reasonable. But it seems quite slow. I'm hoping it picks back up soon, you know, maybe people going home after Valentine's and whatnot. But it's like I've always said, you just cannot predict Uber or, you know, private hire game at all. It's 10 past 11 and I'm on 180. So I think I've done all right there, especially because I actually stopped at one point and filled up. But the requests are coming in a lot slower. I thought it would have, you know, when it hit 11 o'clock, it would be trip after trip after trip. But it's not been really. So I'm tempted to go home. I'm starting to get that go home feel, you know, maybe play the Uber game, head home and see what happens. Don't know yet. Well, as you can see, I ended up coming straight home. It was offering me jobs, but the jobs were not like, I'll do that. They were like, meh. I'm closer to home now. You know, that kind of feel. So it's just after 3. Today there's not a lot happening in the city centres. There's no local games. There's a lot of people would have went out yesterday and not today, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it's still going to be a good Saturday. Let's find out. 20 past 5, so 2 hours into the shift, and I'm on just over 40 quid. I've barely made it, but I've had 3 cancels during that. So that's just the worst. That when I mean, I know you get some money for cancels. I got like £3.50 each cancel, but when you drive to them and then they cancel, you then have to wait, don't you, and filter the jobs again for one that you want. That happened to me 3 times during them 2 hours. I hope the next hour's better. 25 past 6, and I'm just shy of 65 quid. I'll be honest, this last hour or so, I have declined absolutely loads. The problem is the offers are like 3 or 4 miles away, and it says take you 10 minutes to get to it, because it tells you, doesn't it, on the screen. And then it says it'll take 10 minutes for the job or whatever, so that's like a 20-minute job, and then it's offering you a £5, and you're like, oh no. So I think in the last hour I must have declined about 44 jobs. 25 past 7, and I'm only on 80 quid. So far today's shift, Saturday's shift, has been a bit of a slog. It's felt quite rough today, I'll be honest, and that last hour kind of capped it off, because it's not great, is it, what I did? So, but the positive is, I'm round the corner from my house, so I'm going to have a break now, have a little reset, and come back out, and hopefully things have picked up. 25 past 9. So what you're seeing now is you're seeing the 25 past 8 when I come out after my break. I had an hour one, and then you see in the 25 past 9. So in that last hour then, I've did all right. Finally, I've had a good hour. I've still had to be very picky when it comes to it, and it was starting to put a downer on things. So I rewatched them videos and I was like, nah, you need to listen to some Taylor Swift and shake it off. I never listened to Taylor Swift. Anyway, I'm hoping it'll carry on at this kind of pace now, because I really don't want to be going home early tonight and have to do Sunday. Sunday's always my backup day if I haven't mentioned it in the past. If I haven't earned enough throughout the week, then I'll go out Sunday. But I think a lot of drivers are out at the minute because the kids are all off next week. So because the kids are off, there's loads of drivers out trying to get everything they can, because next week will be quite slow, especially during days. 25 past 10 and I'm on 128. Yeah, I'll stick it there. I don't know about you guys, but I've got one of these seat belts where it comes from behind, you know, for the passenger in the middle at the back. It comes from behind and it clips on the left and then goes over to the right. And to me, it's just dead straightforward. But OMG, the amount of customers that just don't get it. I've just had 2 kids in the back and the parent was literally trying to go right across the front of them with the bit that goes on the left. And I have to stop them and go, no, it doesn't go like that. And I'm explaining how it goes. And then they're trying to put it. I went, there's no need to try and jam it in. Just turn it round. It goes in a particular way. And it was like, anyway, let's hope the next hour's a bit busier. 25 past 11 and I'm on 148. So some fella gets in and he goes, "Right mate, is it okay if I come in with these boys?" I went, "Do they know you?" And they go, "Oh yeah, I'm their uncle." And I looked at the boys and they nodded their heads. So I went, "Yeah then, I mean, yeah, who's booked it?" My sister booked it, so that's why I'm coming, so I'm the adult. I was like, okay. So as I'm driving along, he went, "I want to go to a different destination after you've dropped these off. Is that okay?" I went, "No mate." I said, "The customer needs to add it as a second stop." And he went, I'll give you 20 quid cash. And I went, "No mate, the customer needs to add it. It's not worth it, because I'll get 6 points on my licence for driving with no insurance and risk losing me badge for 20 quid. No, you're alright mate." Then he went, "Well done lad." And I went, "What?" And he went, "I was trying to catch you out. I'm with the council." 12:30 and I'm on 172. I messaged me mate about that, you know, the council guy, and he said they're doing it loads in the city centre, where they're just knocking on the window and jumping in. I mean, I knew they did it, but I didn't expect someone to do it with me. Anyway, I've decided to call it a night. I was quite close to my house, so I've come home. The jobs weren't coming through fast enough, and the ones that were not great. I seen one that was 2 miles away for £3.75, going 1.5 miles, and I was like, what are you doing? Surely there's a closer driver, and surely that should be at least a quid more. Anyway, let's do the roundup. So you've got Friday's hours, Friday's earnings, Friday by the hour, and then you've got Saturday's hours, Saturday's earnings, and Saturday by the hour. Stick it all together, you got this video's hours, this video's earnings, and this video by the hour. If you've enjoyed it, give us a like, give us a sub, and I'll catch you in the next one.